Hey, bro.
Huh?
Let me ask you a question, man. Why you ain't change clothes, bro?
Let me ask you a question. Every time you see me, you gotta ask me a question like you 50 Cent asking people 21 questions.
But, bro, you gotta have some hygiene,
Let
man.
me ask you, did you take a bath last night?
Of course, and that's what I'm telling you, man. You gotta have some hygiene,
Well,
man.
congratulations, because I'm homeless and now I have the luxury to take a bath every night and wash clothes like that. So be grateful for what you got and stop always talking about people and stuff. That's what's wrong with people. They always talking about people instead of trying to help them and stuff. Just thank God that you able to take a bath and change your clothes every night. I might have them on the next day and the next day and the next day. That's between me and God. You worry about yourself. Any more questions?
You good,
Oh,
bro.
all right, that one I thought. How
If you're tired of being censored on social media, join 6zeros.net. It's black owned, black operated, and black moderated, and we make sure it stays a safe space for us to talk about all things black culture. We also got some cool gear like the FDM cotton crew neck, the Fearless Ancestors tee, hats, and more. Check us out at 6zeros.net.
Hey girl, why are you so sad?
I just got banned from Twitter again.
Should have been on 6zeros.net. Ah.
What you are looking at is a monument to Wade Hampton. Wade Hampton was one of the largest enslavers in the state of South Carolina, which was one of the largest slave-holding states. And yet, here on the Capitol grounds, there is a monument to him. If South Carolina wants to recognize and remember this period of history, then it is incumbent upon South Carolina and the United States as a whole to repair the damage that has come from this period in history. At the end of the Civil War, Black Americans who are descendants of American slaves, legislatively called freemen, were supposed to receive their 40 acres in a meal, but that never happened. Instead, they saw their black Wall Streets burnt to the ground. They experienced Jim Crow, they experienced redlining, which robbed them of billions in dollars of wealth. In order for America to heal, Black America has to be repaired. I am running to repair Black America because until we all stand, we all have fallen.
Tick faster, that'll be the hour they knock the slick blaster. Dick dastardly, a Muttley with sick laughter. A gunfight and they come to cut the mix master. And living the true gods, giving y'all nothing but the lick like two broads. Got more lyrics than the church got ooh lords. And they hold the mic at your attention like two swords. Or you the one with two blades on it. Hey you, don't touch the mic like it's AIDS on it.
All right, welcome once again to the Beatzilla PDX official show. I am your host, Beatzilla PDX officially. All right, so as you're coming in, please hit the like button and share, if you would, please, on your social media, because believe it or not, this channel gets shadow banned just like the rest of the pro-black channels out here in the new black media spaces. So, excuse me. So yes, as you are coming in, please like, share, and if you have not already subscribed to this channel, please do so at this time by hitting the notification bell and hitting the word all, so you can be notified anytime this broadcast goes live or I upload a video, which we do from time to time with the news briefs. So if you have watched one of those, then that's what those are. Those are the shorter videos, no camera, and so on and so forth. So let's see who is in the chat so far. Nikki the God in the chat, got the chief moderator in the house. Judah Queen, one who cares. Jackal 503. Queen Adia, hey. CH464, what's going on? Let's see. Oyela Aket, welcome. All right, so we are officially international. Esmont, Rochelle Howard, welcome. All right, everybody. So as we get started on this Friday, we have a few things to discuss. One of the things that was interesting, I had an interesting exchange today with someone on Twitter, who I've seen in some of these Twitter spaces before. So it was really interesting. Black Alpha Network, what is going on, my brother? Welcome, peace, my brother. Be one all day. And so I was in this space. Well, actually, I wasn't. I was just listening to Tariq Nasheed's space earlier. This person calls in. Clearly, you could tell that they were of the transsexual in that lane, because they go by the TS and their name. So it's like, well, there's plenty of people who we understand. I mean, we have people from the LGBTQ community call here on this platform and keep it B1. So, the one thing about it, you always are very, it's very clear to see when somebody's pushing an agenda, because they have to stick with the script versus actually engaging in the conversation they're in. So that shows a person that's already coming in bad faith. And so all I said was, this is what it is. Their first response, of course, they had to respond to me on Twitter. And this is something I just posted out of just resharing the space. This person obviously, has an agenda to push. And this ain't the first time that we've seen people come around us with agendas. So, I mean, I think by now we're very clear. If you can't intentionally engage in the conversation just to keep repeating the same talking points, we see what it is at that point. It's very simple. And now when we say now you're being dishonest, it's clear you're just simply being dishonest for the sake of whatever you are going after. You know what I mean? So let me see some here. What is the first thing I wanted to go to? Okay. So this again, this broadcast is going to be one of those to where we have to address Joe Biden and the Democrats, because, man, we are in a situation where this cat is shaking hands with the air, and you just got to look for something better than this. So, understanding the difference between winning and losing, and when you have no friends. And so understanding how we have no friends, I say that because look at the situation that everybody has came and used us to further their cause. All of them got tangibles. We just still sitting up here like, hey, what about us? And nothing. And it's like, oh, well, hey, if you guys going to get something, then the Native Americans got to get something too. Nah, we're not going with that neither. So as y'all know, we're moving into an election cycle here, and the grassroots and the new black media, and the B1 Foundational Black Americans, this space is definitely the loudest voice in the room right now. So with that being said, nobody ever had to seriously look at the black voting bloc as we have to give them something until now. So, with that being said, we're going to start seeing a heavy pander, which still is, of course, going to be the traditional Joe Biden nothing burger talk. And it's just going to start coming by the boatload. So just pay attention to this. Check this out.
I ran for president to deliver the promise of America for all Americans. When I became president, one of the first things I did, I signed an executive order to advance equality and racial justice throughout our federal policies and all our institutions. That's because delivering the promise of America is not the work of one department. It has to be the business of the whole of the federal government. And today, I'm proud to report that more than 90 federal agencies, including every cabinet department, are releasing more than 300 concrete and intentional actions and commitments to address systematic barriers to prosperity, equality, opportunity, and dignity everywhere. You can review it all here at whitehouse.gov/equity. You'll find how agencies are taking ambitious action to protect the wages of hourly workers, eliminate the racial gap in home ownership, increase capital for small business, leverage federal contracting for minority-owned and women-owned small businesses, deliver environmental justice, reduce barriers to transportation, invest in higher education, improve maternal and child health, and so much more. The bottom line, advancing equity is not a one-year project. It's a generational commitment. These plans are an important step forward, reflecting the Biden-Harris administration's work to make the promise of America real for every American. And I mean every American. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So, in the midst of pouring it on thick, there's more. But this is what's really funny. This cat is obviously not totally 100% cognitive skill healthy. I'll say that. Check this out.
America used to be ranked #1 in the world in investing in the future. Now we're ranked number 9 in research and development. The United States of America. China was number 8 3 decades ago. Now it's number 2. Other countries are closing in fast. We can and we must change that. Not by hurting other countries, but by developing ourselves. We have a great opportunity ahead of us with the Bipartisan Innovation Act I mentioned, which is going to provide $90 billion in research and development, STEM education, manufacturing, all those elements of the supply chain that we need to produce end products right here in America. If I told those of you who are closer to my age in the audience, if we told your parents that we'd be here, they'd look at like we were crazy. What do you mean? We're the leader in the world. Not so. Congress needs to get this bill to my desk as quickly as possible. Our economic strength is on the line, and national security as well is on the line. Companies are ready to invest in America, in American communities, in American workers, but they need to see that their government is capable of investing in our future. Other countries are racing ahead, but we can't afford to wait. So Congress, get this bipartisan bill to my desk. North Carolina needs it. America needs it. And let's meet this moment together.
Okay. Whatever you say, Joe. Oh, man. So here's another, like I said, nothing burger. As far as our community goes, dark-skinned brother, what is going on? Zene J, welcome. Who did I see coming here? 12-7, welcome. He said, Jim Crow looking mummified, Jackal 503. Yeah, Silent D Productions. Man, most definitely. Sheesh. He's losing it. He is losing it. So let me get that out of here. They also did another little publicity stunt. Let me get that in here. They're really pouring it on. So they're making sure that, you know, black folks are staying on the Joe Biden train for real. Let me see, where is this at? And right now, what we have to really be paying attention to everything they're throwing at us. From the Ketanji Jackson Brown or Brown Jackson. And also everything that we see throwing money, $30 million. $30 million for black targeted media for voting for the 2022 election. Now, of course, we know in California and other places we see reparations conversations actually happening, going forth, meetings taking place on record, and Joe Biden is still twiddling his thumbs. Well, that's what you voted for. And we're going to have to show you all the elements of what you're actually voting for. Because there's a lot of different things happening at the same time that I actually predicted when Joe Biden got elected. But here's another thing that I expected to happen. Here's what we call a pander. Now, just take notice to this. This is all about photo optics. It's all about the optics. Hey, hey, man, I love black people, y'all. Just, and I believe these little black boys are our future. This is the most fake, and this is how you know it's a pander. Because if it was about agenda, it would be a little black girl. So that's how you know they're actually trying to appeal to black people as a community. That's only reason why they have a little black boy there. That's completely pander. So just pay attention to the game. And, it's smart business. You got to get your money's worth. So let's shoot some money at these Negroes to come out here and shine their teeth. Show your teeth, as Brother Phil Scott says, a shine. Unfortunate. And like Judah Queen said, bad move, parents. I'll say, this is ridiculous. So, understand, this is how much power black folks actually do have. And so, I'm going to be very leery about anybody trying to jump in the mix right now. Because here's how this person came into the space. First off, they did this move. And this is really getting old. Matter of fact, let me take these off. So they came into space doing this move. Well, hey, Tariq, I've been in some of these other spaces and they weren't really receptive of me, and they were homophobic and transphobic and yada, yada, and so forth. However, this man that you're actually talking to now was not in those spaces. Yet you're bringing a whole different argument to this man from other people. Now here's the move. And this is why I look at anybody who does this type of move funny style. Because immediately we're going to say all these grown men who are speaking for themselves are following one man's lead. When everyone tells you that the code is the leader. But these people are always pointing a finger at one individual. I look at that out of anyone who does that. I don't give a damn how you say how down you are. That could be a bad habit, or you could just be a bad snitch. And either way it goes, if you start doing this in front of everybody else, you're a rat. I don't know what game, or part of the game you have been schooled in. But when you're doing this in front of everyone in the world, and this person's that person, and this one, you just throw out these wild ass accusations. Yeah, you look kind of funny style. So if you're going to come into a person's space, Aboriginal woman and Kid Gravity Beyond, welcome. So if you're going to come into somebody's space, at least address them. That's why we say here at the Beatzilla PDX official show, make sure to have intentional conversations. Because when you do, it'll make it very apparent when a person's trying to con you. Because they avoid the conversation at hand to talk about their agenda points. So the only way to shoehorn, number one, making Tariq a leader and the leader of Foundational Black Americans, making Foundational Black Americans an organization or some kind of club or fraternity or something like that, versus it just simply being a lineage, which this individual clearly knows because they've been in all of these different spaces. So there is no room for error or mistake. So then, why would you come in this space bringing all of your other baggage from these other spaces to this individual now? Well, guess what they told me on my own Twitter? Well, Tariq is the ringleader. If y'all don't know a agent when you see one, what makes me an agent? Guess you ain't got the memo about old Beatzilla. Nah, we see you. We see you very clearly. From a mile away at that. Because again, shoehorning a whole different conversation, a whole different group of people in a space that are not even being identified. But he's yet responsible for what all of them had to say to you. That's not even nearly mature thinking on no type of level. It's very intellectually dishonest or just intellectually immature. In any event, I would have to wonder, okay, well, what do you want? Because as it came down, exactly, it's projecting. Oh yeah, Aboriginal woman, ring leader. So number one, do you know what that does? That also ties somebody else to the whole homophobic thing and so you're shoehorning some kind of transgender warring conversation in a conversation where it doesn't fit. So if this person can't understand what just made them stick out like a sore thumb today as a rat, that's it. You can go into all these other spaces and plead your case all you want to. Or if they accept you, that's cool. Over here in this B1 space, and as far as the new black media goes, absolutely not. You've shown your hand. I don't know what anybody else would give you a chance at spewing anything about. And because I guess if you don't understand the point at this stage in the game, if they aren't bringing you intentional conversation, cut that shit off. They don't mean the group any good. At that point, know that they mean the group no good, and at any event, they probably mean you harm. Because what's happening here? We have somebody who is upset because somebody doesn't like their way of lifestyle. We're talking about getting reparations, justice, repair to and healing. This person is worried about their sexuality and how they identify. Oh, well, people over there are misgendering me. Has nothing to do with where you're at right now. See, when you see people doing that, that's Democratic shield paid informant stuff. Anybody doing that is absolutely getting instructions. So they have to be able to weasel this crap into a conversation. One of the reasons why you'll always see them do it the same manner and the same way, because I'm sure if you guys just sit back and pay attention, you'll always be able to peep them out. Because here's the conversation. What will they do? Veer it off over here. Let me center myself into the conversation. This is what the group's talking about. Hey, y'all, look at me. Everybody over here was being transphobic, homophobic, and all of this. Don't worry about this reparations conversation y'all talk about. Let's talk about being intersectionality and intersectionalities and all of that. Come on, man. No, not everybody gonna do that. And here, I got a big secret for you. Something my grandma told me when I was very little. Nobody, and I do mean nobody on earth, has to like you. Harsh reality, I know. But all of this, people are, no, because here's the one thing I don't understand if that was actually legitimately true. Why have you been in all of these spaces since they're so homophobic and transphobic? Why do you care to be in their presence? Glutton for punishment? Or just doing what you're paid to do? I will take it when your interaction with me stops is that one of those Democratic shills over there at the Hillary Clinton send them out, roll them out factory will be like, yeah, him. I smelled you a mile away. Mile away. So yeah, that's like just what I called you. I called you just for what it was, because I know exactly where you came from. You're a liberal agenda agent. What does that mean? Boy, I tell you, man, some of these people have sold their soul to sell everyone else out, and ain't funny. And it's cool for them too, you know. But I could tell, you know, like that person, that individual kind of, you can always hear what it is when a person's talking. And I can hear it just as clear as day because I've heard this before. And a lot of the argument, well, you guys are transphobic and homophobic and blah, 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 blah. No, the reason why they do that for especially pro-black individuals, you know, I know for one particular individual, they felt uncomfortable around strong heterosexual males. So the only thing that they could really do to kind of get over that is just say that everybody was being homophobic. It's like, no, nobody's homophobic because number one, nobody's afraid of you. Not being attracted to you is a sexual preference, not a fear. And a lot of these people act like, oh, that's not what it is. Yeah, it is. And even more so, when you're in the sex industry, you have a lot of white people that you're interacting with. So always watch for the person that comes around you, start caping for white folks. Well, and always listen for this line. This is a dead giveaway. Man, the most time I've ever been treated bad was by black people. I mean, shoot, ain't never been no white person that called me this or called me that. Get your punk ass out of here with that lie. Who you think buying that? Man, I'm from Portland. So you can miss me with all of that. Keep Portland weird. That is literally the saying of this city. And so, I mean, if you came here, man, miss me. Miss me. You can be in all of your womanly getup, being right on the job, and be at you could be working at Kroger's or Safeway as a cashier. It would be no one would look at you twice here doing that. So all of this anger in these spaces, shut up. Shut up. I can't stand hearing these agenda whiny arguments. All it is an agenda. You don't really have that feeling because you know you're not really living that. Ain't that whole line does not exist in our community. Stop letting them put that poison on us. We ain't never hated no one. So to keep coming up, we ain't treating me, stop it. No, they calling you on that BS because what you coming over there with is the same thing that you just tried to do to me. And what it is that we tend to, as in the pro-black situation, we're cutting off your access to white folks because you want to say, well, how do I be B1? And you don't. Intersectionality and B1 are absolute enemies. Anyone who is over here without that understanding, you don't belong over here, no way. B1 is B1. You can see other people who are of your same ilk. B1, what's wrong with you? Oh, maybe you got that Judas purse to sell other black folks out. And I mean, if you'll do that, then I'm sure you'll have no problem coming into the mix lying about your heritage as well. I mean, what are we to expect from a dishonest individual? See, I'm not looking at anybody in that oh man, no, I'm calling you dishonest. Has nothing to do. Your preference is your preference. Whatever you identify is your business. My only issue is when you trying to affect our whole community for your own feelings or personal agenda for whatever you're taking money to disrupt over here. Oh no, we're going to get at you. Ain't no shame in the game over here, player. You step your ass off that porch, you going to get touched. Simple as that. Stay your ass out the way. You want to play that traitor game? Keep your punk ass over to the side. The dogs run the yard here, and ain't no shame in us. At all. No. So, y'all need to start revisiting what real man energy is about. No, we don't give up our slots to that. See, here's the thing for me, especially with individuals like that, because they know what time it is. That's why they wearing a dress right now. When they were little children, they couldn't sit up there and do that to us as kids. So now you're here playing the I'm a woman game. That's cool. But don't think you didn't change being a sucker. That didn't leave you. So all of that other, man, miss me with all of that. Now I'm talking about the sucker you is. You willing to come in over here and pushing stuff on your people that you know somebody else paying you to say. And then you like the associations and the things you can, the little trinkets that you can get. Yeah, that's what we call butter biscuits. Negro trinkets. I know you new to this because whoever the hell sent you here didn't properly prepare you. So I know you're hearing a lot of this for the first time because clearly, let's just be clear. Half of y'all showing up here talking now ain't been, you don't even know who Francis Cress Wilson is. I mean, we can see just by the way you even conduct yourself in these spaces. You ain't got no history up under your belt, man. Somebody sent you here. And you're around learned individuals now. So, I don't know. Maybe give them folks their money back. That's the best I can do for you. Tell them to hey man, give them that money back. But yeah, you down here, man. I can't believe that. You don't have the nerve to come on. And you actually hopped on my shit. Yeah, they didn't tell you about me. Yeah, my mother came out the closet at 13. Saw that whole bull. I got a cousin dealing with some situations right now. So, yeah, man, that might be cool. Run that on some other person. But not here. So, in the meantime, we have some issues to get to because we are under attack, family. And you know what? I think I'm just going to run some things back real quick because I think maybe this individual might need some understanding on why they so lost right now. But, who knows? TJ, B1, Tanya Zion, B1, FBA all day. So I know, see, a lot of this line that they're bringing, and if you understand why these, and if you were in that space, the reason why that individual can't answer any questions is because, let's see, how do I say this delicately? Oh, because they're full of shit. So they actually don't believe what they were saying. So that's why, they had to stick with the line and then hope that somebody bit. But truth be told, it comes from the Marxist teachings that initially were the way that they were teaching feminists to infiltrate the black community, to destroy the black community with black feminism, which now is turning into imploding on itself because the black feminism actually literally opened up the door for the trans community to now say that they're women and get all of your rights while booting y'all black asses to the side. How about that? Y'all better recognize when you have no friends. No friends. You hear me? We're going to get this message clear tonight. So, I know somebody would be upset out there and say, hey, this is negative. No, you got to know what you have subscribed to. And if you have subscribed to feminism, then your mother is Gloria Steinem and your daddy is the CIA.
Gloria, at the festival, you worked for the Independent Research Service.
That's right.
Well, exactly when did your own association with the CIA start, and in what fashion? Did they come to you, or did you go to them?
In 1958, when I came home from India, I discussed with student leaders, past and present, many of them active with the National Student Association, this kind of small foundation to encourage Americans to go. They thought it was a good idea, too. I was then told by foundations and professors and friends that I should not do this, that I would get in trouble with the House Un-American Activities Committee, the American Legion, all of those 50s people. And I became convinced that it was impossible. It was at that point that the student leaders said to me that they had in the past received funds for international programs from the CIA, and that they felt that this was important and could also be partly funded by the CIA.
Well, I mean, did you feel that you really tried? I mean, did you go around to all of the wealthy private foundations, wealthy private people and explain your point of view and explain why you felt it was important that the United States be represented at these things in a certain way? What did they tell you?
They told me that, well, the Ford Foundation, for instance, told me that they thought we were too liberal and too controversial, and that we would endanger their cultural programs in Austria, in the first festival being held in Vienna. It was not encouraging at all, and the private individuals to whom I went often had particular points of view to put forward, which would have been much, much more restricting than the CIA funds were, which were free. I mean, no one was told what to say.
What do you mean they were free? You mean to say it was easier for you to work for the CIA than a private organization?
That's right. And the reason I think that comes as a surprise, as it did to me at the time. I mean, I had the conventional liberals' view of the CIA as a right-wing incendiary group, and I was amazed to discover that this was far from the case, that they were enlightened, liberal, nonpartisan activists of the sort who characterized the Kennedy administration, for instance.
You have not been working now for the...
Yeah, but the one thing that they were, and they all had in common, so what you're actually hearing is the bipartisan nature of anti-blackness. Did you hear that part? That's what she's talking about. What there was, see, when she got in behind the scenes, she recognized it wasn't no right and no left. Oh, no, they have very liberal ideas. Sexually, that is, yes. When it comes down to equality and all of that, absolutely, yes. Guess what, though? They also have in common. They hate our black asses. Can you figure that one out? So this is the mother of black feminism. Look at the company she's choosing to keep to enact what she wants to enact. I mean, y'all got cerebral Margaret Sanger right here. Y'all understand it? Y'all be just, oh, well, we're women and she understands her because we're all women. No, she hates you, black woman. Yeah, you're both women, just like me and the white man are both, me and the white supremacist male are both males. He hates my guts for myriad reasons. Same with her. I mean, just think back in slavery. Her man wanted you. Think back in 2022. Her man still wants you.
The CIA since 1962. You still criticize. You were down recently in Washington?
Yes, when the story broke that I had once been, that I have for 4 years been a Central Intelligence agent, I was demonstrating outside the Pentagon underneath Mr. McNamara's office against bombing in Vietnam. And this didn't precisely fit with the image of a CIA agent, but then neither does the CIA.
Wow. Now, always remember this, you know.
Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Hope y'all are paying attention. So here's another thing that's going on under Joe Biden. TJ, welcome, welcome. The uptick, now, are y'all noticing the uptick in police killings of unarmed black men again? And then also this weird uptick in crime, which, again, I'm telling you, I'm seeing the setup of a crime bill. And then, of course, you know how it would be perfect timing for a distraction, right? Because everybody is up on these people. Let me play this local piece. And this is just locally. Now watch how they identify crime. But then when they start talking about drugs, they can identify, like when you're talking about crime, it's kind of moving in the direction of people. When it's drug addicts and junkies that, of course, non-black, it's all about fentanyl. Just check this out.
A warning from the Multnomah County Sheriff about the current community violence and what we could see in the months ahead. In a letter to the community, Sheriff Mike Reese cited this year's surging homicide rate along with traffic fatalities and overdose deaths. Now, he also said, quote, summer is approaching, a time when we typically experience increased violence in our community. Without action, we can expect worse to come. Sheriff Reese listed solutions, including increases in traffic enforcement and better funding for community groups. Our Liz Birch is talking with the sheriff, and she'll have more on KOIN 6 News at 4 o'clock.
Overdose deaths. Crime, so you can really identify crime, but when it starts getting to them overdose, the conversation turns. Of course it does. Yep. I hope y'all are paying attention. Yeah, there's more. Let's see. Oh, but wait a minute. Because see, we have to examine both sides of the field here. Where is it at? Where you at? So we're gonna go with this one because notice we're just pay attention, family.
Now been made after unprovoked attacks of sick men in Queens.
Both attacks took place in the last 2 weeks in the same neighborhood. CBS 2's Thalia Perez live in South Richmond Hill, where the community came together tonight. Thalia?
Christina and Maurice, the attacks have left this tight-knit community reeling. And while both suspects have been arrested, many are still on edge.
We want to make sure that this hate is no more. This hate does not belong in our city, does not belong in our state, does not belong in our country.
Dozens of neighbors and community leaders calling for unity on the corner of 101st Avenue and Lefferts Boulevard this afternoon, several blocks away from where the recent attacks of 3 sick men took place on 95th and Lefferts.
No justice! No peace!
2 victims who were attacked Tuesday said they were on their way to work around 7 a.m. Gulzar Singh still has stitches and a black eye. He tells us through a translator he's suffering from anxiety.
He said that he's still scared to leave his house, and you never know when he's going to get attacked again.
A third victim, Nirmal Singh, suffered a broken nose. This photo of him with blood-stained sleeves was shared with CBS 2 and taken shortly after the attack. Police say it happened on April 3rd near the same intersection. The 70-year-old was on his way to the Sikh Cultural Society.
They came at the turbans first. So when the first punch landed, it was to make sure the turbans come off. Not only was it a physical attack, it was more of a spiritual attack, more of a moralistic attack.
And police say 2 men have been arrested. 20-year-old Hezekiah Coleman and 19-year-old Vernon Douglas. Both are charged with hate crimes, while Douglas is charged in connection with both incidents. Live from South Richmond Hill, Thalia Perez, CBS 2 News.
Thank you, Thalia.
Okay, can you all hear me now? Can you hear me? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. I'm going to have to go back to this. My goodness. So, let me know if you can hear me in the chat. Okay, good. All right. So I just switched mics, of course. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard and my mic, but we gonna make it do what it do. All right, so let's get to this other story, because this is where I'm having an issue. All of a sudden, Joe Biden's back in office, and all of this big wave of crime is just all of a sudden occurring. Check this out.
There was even more gun violence in the Bronx. 3 deadly shootings happening within 3 hours of each other last night. The first one happened around 7:45 last night in the West Farms section. When police arrived, they found 3 men shot and 1 victim. A 22-year-old Wayne Goodwin was killed. An hour later, a gunman shot and killed a woman in the Concourse Village. Police say the 23-year-old victim was in her car when she was shot. It's not clear if she was the intended target. And later in the evening, 4 people were shot in the Allerton section of the Bronx. Police say 21-year-old Jesse Bynum was killed. So far, there are no arrests in 3 of these incidents.
Kid Gravity Beyond said Crime Bill 2.0 is on the way. Ooh, Lord. And I guess if that wasn't enough, you got some stuff even in the rural areas, I guess.
Shots of 5 people charged in connection to a drive-by shooting in Warner Robins. The sheriff's office announced the arrest over the weekend. The people facing charges include Bryce Crosby of Kathleen, Chase Watson of Warner Robins, Lenny Gupton of Warner Robins, Savannah McGahee of Warner Robins, and Mickey Jachargway of Warner Robins. 8-year-old Dramarian Cherry died a week ago today, a few days after that drive-by shooting on Virginia Dare Drive.
All right. There's more. And this is all literally within like the last 24 hours, man.
Well, 2 of those armed robberies took place here at the Kedzie Pink Line. Both crimes happened very early this morning, pretty much minutes within one another, just before 2 a.m. In the first incident, a 23-year-old woman was riding the train when 2 men wearing all black approached her. One of the men put a gun to the side of her head while demanding all of her personal property. And just a few minutes later, 2 men came up to 2 other men on the platform at the Kedzie Pink Line. The offenders pointed guns at the victims and robbed them. The offenders ran off, and just a few hours later at 4 a.m., a man was robbed at gunpoint on the Red Line at Bryn Mawr. The victim says he was sleeping when a man woke him up, pointed a gun at him, and took his belongings. Some CTA riders we talked to shared their recent experiences.
The pink line is usually the blue line, the green line, and the red line where you had the most problems at. Usually this line just goes from Cermak to around downtown and back. So it's very rare.
I rode on the train one day. I rode it up to Polk. And the lady that was sitting in front of me, she had a purse, like a lady's purse, And she just got up and this guy in front of her shot her. And I asked, is anybody going to do anything? And nobody said none. Everybody's standing, sitting down. I go, don't you people care? A purse, like a lady's purse,
Yeah, we're going to hear
and
that
she
again.
just got up and this guy in front of her shot her. And I asked, is anybody going to do anything? And nobody said none. Everybody's standing, sitting down. I go, don't you people care?
So you were sitting on the train and this woman just got up in front of you and this guy just shot her in the back. And he just shot her. Pow! And you're saying to my neighbors, hey man, you guys gonna do anything? I mean, don't you guys care? I'm just saying, I don't like what I'm seeing out here, family.
Well, at last check, no one was in custody in regards to those 3 armed robberies that took place early this morning on the Pink Line and the Red Line, but police do tell us that there were no injuries. For now, reporting live from the Kedzie Pink Line, I'm Jewel Hillary, WGN News.
So that happened. And then here's more.
Talk with the Dallas Cowboys player about a murder investigation.
Chris Sadeghi joins us live. So, Chris, the murder happened in March, but you've got new information this morning.
Yes, Anya, it was back in March that police found a man shot outside of a Greenville Avenue bar. He would later die, and now we've learned that a member of the Dallas Cowboys is part of the investigation. Dallas police sources told us that their investigators want to speak with Kelvin Joseph, although they gave no indication about his potential involvement with the case. Joseph is a second-year cornerback drafted in the second round last year. He played in 10 games during his rookie season. According to a DPD press release, there was a shooting around 2 in the morning outside the OT Tavern on March 18th. And a 20-year-old named Cameron Ray was shot after a fight of some sort. The release offered no other details about the cause of the fight or any suspects. WFAA did try to contact the Cowboys to get comment from them. So far, we have not heard anything back. Sonia, back to you.
Whew. Yeah, man. Quite a bit going on. Quite a bit going on. And everything that I'm playing right now is not the popular stories in the news. I mean, do you realize that? Nothing that I have played yet are the popular stories in the news. And let's see. Where do I want to go next? Because I'm like, there is so freaking much going on right now. It ain't funny. Where is it at? Where is it at? Where's it at? Where you at? Okay. And here's, man. I'm just saying, if I didn't know better, I just, like, if you're looking at worldwide staging, you got Ukraine. Will Smith is now the face of anger. Yeah,
The gunman shot 17 people at a concert and trail ride in Dallas, and police are still looking for that shooter. Now, several groups are trying to figure out how to work with the city and police to make these events safer. Representatives from more than 20 trail riding.
Now, okay, what the hell does that mean when you ask the city, how can we make these things safer? How the hell ain't that a call for more police? Did I miss something? Is that not a call for more police? How do we make these things safer? I don't know. Oh, Lord.
Organizations called a meeting with Dallas police officers last night. They talked about the permitting process, protocols, and ways to work together with the city and with officers. They say these events should be a safe place for everyone.
We want to know what to do in order to make sure everybody's safe again so we can enjoy it. We want to be safe just like everybody else. So we want to know what we need to do in order to make that happen.
The group plans to meet with police and the city staff again next week.
All right, and there is, hold on now, where is this story at? Where is this story? Where you at? The story is hiding. Because there's this other situation. Well, you know what? I'll play this right now. Let me go into, there's more.
That's how much Detroit homeowners were overtaxed for their properties during the Great Recession.
The issue was exposed back in 2020, and now 2 years later, there's no solution in place to get money back to the people who overpaid. As you can imagine, they're fed up. Victor Williams live on this story tonight. Victor, there's a whole lot more to it than just cutting a check.
Oh, yeah, Karen and Jason. You know, $600 million is certainly a lot of money, and now city officials are looking for ways to compensate those who have been affected by illegal taxes and foreclosures.
It damaged my health. It took my kids away from their friends, out of their schools. It's a really, really bad thing that happened.
Losing a home because of foreclosure really took a toll on Sonia Bonnet, but finding out she was overtaxed to begin with was an even harder pill to swallow.
To learn and find out that it was done illegally and that there were programs you were eligible for and you could have saved your home really is a maddening process.
City Council President Mary Sheffield has been working with the Coalition of Property Tax Justice to find ways to make up for some of the wrongs homeowners have been hit with in the past. From 2011 to 2015, 1 in 4 homes in Detroit were foreclosed because of failure to pay inflated property tax.
Understand that this is an issue that touches so many people.
At this point, financial compensation and tax credits may be legally out the question, but other options are currently being explored.
We talked about land bank homes. We talked about home repair grants. We talked about side lots.
While nothing is in stone, $6 million have been committed to making some of those program options possible. Anything at this point is something Sonia would love to see.
I'm not saying the current administration did it, but they can be on the right side of history and make it right.
If they
And as officials look into what can be done, we know that there have been calls on the Attorney General to do something about this. The city's CFO sent us this statement, which does read in response, neither legislator nor council can change the Constitution, and many prior Attorney Generals have recognized this constitutional restriction on spending public money for private purposes. We'd expect this Attorney General to agree, though the AG's opinions are not technically binding on local units of government. Victor Williams, Local 4.
Maddening situation for those homeowners. All right, thank you, Victor.
So you have achieved part of the American dream, and your government is targeting you for overtaxing so you guys all get foreclosed on. Isn't this something that maybe Joe Biden should be visiting? They're busy combing through the finances of Black Lives Matter, which is really funny because considering how Black Lives Matter donated so much of their money that they got off of dead black bodies to Joe Biden's campaign. Isn't that interesting? Well, Joe Biden is considering all, you want to bring all of these, and there's Ukrainians already here, and we have their family members here, so. And, hey, man, what's to say? I guess you already got a criminal here. Why not bring your criminal family members over here, too? Y'all can all come over to America and be criminals together. Well, that all sounds fine and dandy until you move these kind of individuals into black neighborhoods.
Had a lot of parents concerned. We told you about a man accused of trying to lure girls into his car in Deer Park and Pasadena.
And now police say he is in custody. Our Rochelle Turner is joining us live with a closer look at the arrest. Good morning.
Oh, and Amy, good morning. This is a huge sigh of relief for many parents and children who knew this guy and saw him in some of these neighborhoods. But the suspect in this case, Chase Brancheski, is set to appear in court later this morning. Today is his 25th.
Look at that! Look at that last name. You probably could take a guess that he is not from America. Yeah, no, definitely not. Oh, but they actually got this guy on video.
birthday, and he's facing a charge for aggravated attempted kidnapping. Now, he was arrested yesterday afternoon in Lufkin. He's accused of trying to lure several young girls into his car by stopping them and asking them for directions. In one of the cases, Pasadena police said Brimcheski threatened a girl with a gun and told her to do what he said. And in another case, Deer Park police said an 11-year-old girl was walking to school when Brimcheski pulled alongside her and started to speak to her. When the child refused to interact with him, he pulled off but came back a few minutes later and started yelling at the child. We spoke to police, and he said that multiple agencies were able to take him into custody.
Well, it's a good feeling for us as a police agency. You know, our job is to protect the community. Anytime we can do good police work this quickly to get someone off the street, it's a great feeling for us, and hopefully it's a great feeling for the community knowing that they're safer.
And Brimcheski was also on parole for a deadly conduct charge. In the next hour, you're going to hear from one of these victims and her mother about what it means to have him off the streets. Reporting live this morning from downtown Houston, I'm Rochelle Turner, KPRC 2 News.
Boy, just winning left and right, ain't we? Winning left and right, ain't we? He said Ukrainian, I suspect. With that name, it is definitely a strong possibility. Yes, indeed. We have to definitely understand the difference between winning and losing. And when you have no friends. Look at those people down there at the bottom. Those are the people who say they represent you. Look at that man all the way at the top getting executed by a police officer. That could have easily been the foundation of Black America. And, you know, unfortunately, our Congolese brother, the extended family was, executed by the race soldier, to which you see on the back, firing a bullet into the back of this man's head over a traffic stop. So then you have right next to him, your great Joe Biden shaking air. He's shaking air. And then right down there you have Ketanji, and you got Joe Biden there looking a little lost. And of course we have old fish fry, butter, biscuit, catfish nugget about to lose his seat in 22. Jim Clyburn. Marcel Dixon is coming for us for a spot, well deserved, because this dude has been in there far too long doing much of nothing for black folks. You know? So we need to make sure that these people get completely excommunicated out the paint, because again, shout out to 6 Zeros. The code is the leader. So if anyone is confused, you know, when you like to throw different things out there and whatnot, the code is the leader. We'll say it again, the code is the leader. The code is the leader.
Tick faster. That'll be the hour they knock the slick blaster. Dick Dastardly, a Muttley with sick laughter. A gunfight and they come to cut the mixed master. And living the true gods. Giving y'all nothing but the lick like two broads. Got more lyrics than the church got ooh lords. And they hold the mic at your attention like two swords. Or you the one with two blades on it. Hey you, don't touch the mic like it's AIDS on it.
So in this great Joe Biden ran society, we had this other situation that just happened. Poor management by the police of their duty to just make sure that this person was safe. Because you got this kid that ends up dead in custody The police did not kill this individual on this next story. However, their negligence definitely aided to him not surviving through the night.
Look at the hours before a man's death in Milwaukee police custody. Keyshawn Thomas was found unresponsive on February 23rd inside a holding cell at Police District 5. Just about 2 hours ago, Milwaukee police released some video from that day, but there are still questions about what happened in the hours before Thomas was found dead. The I-Team's Sean Gallagher joins me now with that. Sean.
The video shows Keyshawn Thomas ingested drugs while in custody and did not want to go to the hospital when officers offered. But it is not clear how much time passed between when police last checked on Thomas in his cell and when he was found dead. Radio transmissions from paramedics who responded to District 5 suggest Thomas had been dead for quite some time before he was discovered. When Keyshawn Thomas is at District 5, twice he's able to ingest drugs that he had on him. Once lunging into the back of a police vehicle.
I have no more. I ate them. I didn't go to hospital. You ate them? I ate the little smoke I had.
And another time, he removes a bag from his pants and eats more drugs while awaiting booking. A booking officer questions him, even suggesting he go to the hospital.
I had
You have a lot? I think we should just do something after trying to go ambulance. Yeah.
Police later explained Thomas formally declined, stating he signed a medical form before he was taken to a holding cell. Keep in mind, this video is from an officer's body camera and includes timestamps of this moment. However, from the two angles we have of surveillance cameras at District 5, there are no timestamps on these cameras. Thomas walks freely into the cell at an unknown time. Milwaukee police show on the video this camera is motion activated. However, we've only been provided angles of when Thomas entered the cell and when he was discovered. Milwaukee police tell the I-Team video exists of officers checking on Thomas between the times of 3 and 6 a.m., but say it was deliberately left out of the community briefing. When they discovered Thomas's body, about a dozen officers come running, calling for Narcan, and we're told they immediately start life-saving measures. The I-Team obtained radio traffic from responding EMTs.
Last known well was 16 hours ago when he was incarcerated.
The radio states 16 hours passed between Thomas entering the cell and officers finding his body. The responding EMTs continue with life-saving measures, giving an indication to the state Thomas's body was in when they arrived.
He had a rigid airway. Fluids are not flowing. Patient fingertips and earlobe were not yielding blood flow.
Last known well 16 hours ago, who has multiple signs of rigidity, lividity.
Now, according to the National Institutes of Health, rigor mortis typically sets in about 2 hours after death. MPD again today insisted there were cell checks done, but could not tell us when or how long before Thomas's death he was checked on. We asked the Milwaukee County DA about those radio transmissions, and a spokesperson could not confirm they're part of the investigation, but said they're likely part of the case file. Steve?
Sean Gallagher, a lot more questions here. Thomas's family is planning a news conference at 5:30. You can watch that live on our TMJ4 News Facebook page. We'll also have a live update at 6. Now, days after Thomas was found dead inside District 5, a man walked in that building's lobby and opened fire. Police today also released video from that incident. We want to warn you, this video is graphic. Good. Police say Darion Parker Bell was upset over Thomas's death and fired 3 shots inside the station. Nobody was hurt. Officers then chased down Parker Bell as he ran from the scene. Police say they opened fire on him after he ignored commands to drop his gun.
Drop the gun! Drop the gun!
Parker Bell was shot but survived. He faces a list of charges, including attempted first-degree homicide. You can watch both of those videos released today at our website, tmj4.com.
So as per my last broadcast, I showed y'all that video of my man running up into the precinct and opening fire. Now we know why he did it. And that was what was cracking. So, I mean, we are in a different time, and not everybody is moving the same. As you can see, the Kumbaya spirit has found out that it's not the season for the Kumbaya spirit. And, you know, also, it's not the season for the intersectionality spirit. Now is the time for the unity spirit. And if you can't figure out what team you're on, you are the weakest link. Be one. There is no be and. There is be one, and that is it. It's very clear and cut, dry, and simple. You're doing something outside of that, then you're going off. And could totally make sense why you voted for this man. Look at that. Oh, whoa, where'd it go? Oh, man. Oh, I thought somebody was there. Oh, man. Where am I going? Oh, what's happening right now? I don't know what's going on. I'm a little lost. Can somebody help me? Oh, that's right. This way. That's where I need to head. Oh, man. Woohoo. Hey, where you at, dude? You all right? Oh, not there. Oh, boy. Well, maybe, where do I go? Oh, maybe I'll go left. Man, you know what? No, I think the car is this way. That's right. Yeah, this way. Hey, how you guys doing? That's right. Whew. That's your king. Oh, Sleepy Joe is an understatement. Oh my goodness. Shout out Queen Amadai Shakur. Good grief. Good grief. But what is such not a laughing matter, fam? Because, yo, this dude is the guy that got his hands on the button. Clearly. Now, is this who you want really navigating this Ukrainian situation? Are you kidding me? Man, this place is done for if this is what's going on right now, man. This dude is like everybody looking around like, oh, man, what's going on? Is he lost? Yeah. Whoo, so check this out. Because not sure how much you'll actually hear this in the news. So understand also another piece that happened. I guess one of the ambassadors of America paid a visit to Taiwan, and China didn't really care for that. So they issued kind of a stern warning to the United States about kind of sneaking up on their borders and shores unannounced. Like, oh, you trying to catch us doing something? Huh. You of all people? Oh, okay. Well, hey, man, Putin, why don't you go ahead and send that message out? What you think he said?
Stop arming Ukraine, saying continuing to do so could lead to, quote, unpredictable consequences.
That's right. In a letter to the Biden administration, the Kremlin also accused the U.S. of openly disregarding laws for transferring weapons to conflict zones. The warning comes as the U.S. sends $800 million worth of military assistance to Eastern Europe. Moscow also wrote in its letter that NATO's actions are stalling peace negotiations with Ukraine.
Meanwhile, Ukrainian officials say Russia's flagship naval vessel in the Black Sea sank after being hit by Ukrainian missiles. But Russian authorities say it sank in a storm while being towed for repairs after an explosion and fire. Overnight in Russia attacked a missile factory in Kyiv, an apparent retaliatory move. The Kremlin also warned it will ramp up attacks on the capital if Ukraine makes any moves on Russian soil.
So joining us now is CBS News foreign correspondent who is in Kyiv, Chris Livesay. Chris, thank you so much for being with us. Can you explain the significance of Russia's flagship warship sinking? This was one of their, major warships in the Black Sea, and what this means for the war moving forward.
Sure. Well, it's a huge blow both to the Russian military and to Russian pride. I mean, let's look down there on the southern coast of Ukraine. The country has been anticipating this amphibious attack for weeks. It's specifically Odessa and its surrounding area. It's a place that Vladimir Putin called out by name in his declaration of war back in February. But now that Ukraine, and let's just assume that these claims are true for a moment here from Ukraine, that it took out the ship with its own missiles. Now that it's done that, well, Russia is going to have to think twice about ever getting close to that coast ever again. In fact, the Pentagon confirms Russia has already removed its remaining ships from its fleet in the Black Sea from within striking distance of those missiles, which we should add are Neptune missiles made right here in Ukraine. That shows that the Ukrainians are capable of stepping up for themselves. They don't necessarily have to depend on shipments of arms from other countries. This is something that Moscow was not expecting at all.
Russia has drawn the line, saying that NATO and the U.S. should stop supplying Ukraine with military aid, saying it could lead to, quote, unpredictable consequences. So are leaders worried about Russia in a retaliatory response? What do they expect could happen?
Sure, Michelle. Well, I mean, they could very well be worried about convoys of arms being attacked by Russia, because most of the weapons that we've seen be so effective here on the ground in Ukraine have come from places like the United States. Those Javelin missiles that can take on Russian tanks, those are shoulder-mounted weapons. They're very light arms. Same with the Stingers, which are made to take out aircraft. Those are coming into the country, and those could become a target, those shipments of arms into Ukraine. But if you talk to
And just to put this in perspective, family, I'm going to play this, and I'm going to play this.
Ukrainians, when they hear these threats from Russia about consequences from Russia and being unpredictable, their answer is, well, Russia is always unpredictable regardless, whether or not you're bringing in arms or you're not bringing in arms. Keep in mind that Ukraine did nothing to provoke this war to begin with. So if you talk to people like the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, he'll tell you, why not be proactive? If Vladimir Putin and Russia are going to act malignantly, are going to act aggressively regardless, then you may as well help us mobilize to defend ourselves.
Good point. Russia has not been predictable at all in any of these moves. All right, Chris Livesay in Kyiv, thank you so much for that.
And this dude is in control of it all. Oh, my Lord. But in I guess in other news, kind of prophecy news, I guess, there's this.
Site, leaving dozens injured. Israeli officials entered the mosque compound before dawn as thousands of Palestinians were gathered.
Oh, wait, let's go back there.
Clashes erupted at a Jerusalem holy site, leaving dozens injured. Israeli officials entered the mosque compound before dawn as thousands of Palestinians were gathered for prayers during the holy month of Ramadan. Israel said its forces went in to remove rocks that had been gathered in anticipation of violence.
An Ohio man who blamed former President Trump for his storming of the U.S. Capitol on January 6th has been found guilty. 38-year-old Dustin Thompson claimed he was only, quote, following presidential orders. Jurors didn't buy that and convicted him of obstructing Congress from certifying Joe Biden's 2020 electoral victory. Thompson now faces up to 20 years in prison.
And some of Jackie Robinson's most famous memorabilia is going up for auction in honor of the 75th anniversary of Jackson's debut. Robinson played for the Brooklyn Dodgers 75 years ago. On this date, in fact, breaking baseball's color barrier, his jersey.
We got that. But, understand the point of that all of these people are over here trying to smokescreen us, and we're over here spending all of this money as, well, taxpayers' money to bring these people over here. Now, I already showed you one dude who's already over here trying to abduct chicks, to abduct little girls, and now you have Sleepy Joe at the helm driving us to war, can't even figure out which way is up, if a person is even standing to his right or not. But he's funding this war. If y'all think that there is some kind of way that this ends in the benefit of what you come to know as America, as it stands, boy, oh boy, I guess you're going to be in for a rude awakening. But no. And remember what I just showed y'all the other day. Matter of fact, do I still have that up here? I mean, man, y'all going to be just like this lady here.
Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us.
Oh, my Lord. All right. Let's see what we got here. Oh, my goodness. They're going to be up like, hey, America's going to go on forever like the... Better know it. So let's see. Let's get into the New York City situation. Because, Lord. You know, I'll save my opinion for later.
Profane, disturbing content on YouTube and social media.
Recent rants included criticism of Mayor Adams and efforts to reduce homelessness and crime. CBS 2's Tony Aiello continues our coverage.
And they keep mentioning the potential of World War III. Well, no, we're already in World War III.
Brooklyn subway attack suspect Frank James had a lot to say about the state of the world, and he shared it almost daily on YouTube. Hundreds of rants filled with foul-mouthed disdain for black people, white people, Hispanics and Asians, celebrities and politicians, including...
And let me address something, because, okay, for those of y'all who were here on this broadcast Wednesday, I played some of his videos, and I played the video where he talked greasy about George Floyd. And so that lets you know what time it was with him, because they were trying to make this dude out to be some kind of black identity extremist. It's like, no, he's not no pro-black nothing. Matter of fact, he sounds pretty pro-police, actually. So, truth be told, when you start listening to his rhetoric, it's like, okay, yeah, you can see exactly why they didn't take him down. Now, this broadcast has been interrupted. Matter of fact, do y'all know my last broadcast that they did not take down, but they made me cut out a video right after I wrapped up on my last broadcast. And let me see, do I got that picture in here? Let me see if I got the picture in here, because I'll show you the picture of they was like, yeah, this is not, you can't show this in America. It's like, man, I just seen somebody upload this on YouTube today. But I guess when it comes from me, it's different. So, remember this skit that I showed you from the Iran TV network? Well, I guess they didn't like me running this story. They've let other people run this. I mean, so it's all on YouTube. Trust me. It's all on YouTube. It was just a problem for me. So I had to cut it out because they said it was banned. But I guess that just means it's banned for me. It's all over YouTube. But they made me cut mine out. And I've watched other people upload this video on YouTube. I wonder what happened. Why is it so different for me? Who knows? But nonetheless, back to the story.
Mayor Eric Adams and his policies on subway crime.
To do something about the homeless, he can do that, which is good.
But those who are going to commit crimes, like the shooting, shot in the chest out in Brooklyn, the old lady got hit in the head with a hammer, you can't stop that. That means you have to have a policeman on every station, and that's just not possible.
It was a chilling foreshadowing of the subway attack 3 weeks later. We know that James was born in 1959 and raised in the Bronx. His last known address here dates to 2003, this building on Ritter Place. Not far away, one of his distant cousins told me most family members had little contact with James.
Something must have happened, maybe, I don't know.
You're having a tough time believing this.
Yes, yes, it's unbelievable.
James's sister also lives in the Bronx. She declined to speak with CBS 2, but told the New York Times James was a loner who moved often. Until a few weeks ago, he lived in this Milwaukee, Wisconsin multifamily building. Neighbors describe him as sullen and unfriendly.
When I say hi, it's like a grunt. I don't see him. I hear him sometimes yelling on the phone, arguing about things.
On his YouTube channel, James talked about attending a job training program in Long Island City and experiencing mental health issues. He described New York as
I don't see him. I hear him sometimes yelling on the phone, arguing about things.
On his YouTube.
Let's just go back to that sister's piece one more time.
Was a loner who moved often. Until a few weeks ago, he lived in this Milwaukee, Wisconsin multifamily building. Neighbors describe him as sullen and unfriendly.
When I say hi, it's like a grunt. I don't see him. I hear him sometimes yelling on the phone, arguing about things.
On his YouTube channel, James talked about attending a job training program in Long Island City and experiencing mental health issues. He described New York as the source of all my troubles. The videos leave the impression of a profoundly disturbed person. Tonight, YouTube has disabled James's channel. In Longwood, the Bronx, Tony Aiello, CBS 2 News.
And in recent weeks, James had been staying in a Philadelphia rental. The FBI did search that location and also a nearby storage unit. They say they found evidence indicating James had access to a high-powered rifle, which has not been recovered.
And stay with CBS 2 and CBS News New York for continuing coverage on the subway mass shooting. On our website, you can
Well, check this out. They ran into, I guess, old school brother preacher that I guess also knew the man. This kind of sounds slightly different than every other account about this dude. Check this out.
Eugene Yarborough. Pastor, what's the name of your church again?
Mount Zion, Wings of Glory, Church of God in Christ.
Okay, and Pastor, we're finding out now that the gentleman living next door is named the suspect in the New York City shooting that happened on the subway. Just what was your initial reaction to hearing that news?
Surprised.
Did you ever interact with Mr. James at all? And if you did, what was he like?
I just spoke to him going by as he would go on doing his daily chores or whatever he was doing. I just waved and said hello, and he said hello back to me, and that's it.
And you mentioned that you had at least one specific interaction when you accidentally hit his car coming into the church. How was he during that interaction when you guys worked that out?
He was cordial. I let him know that I did it, and I put a note on his car, and he thanked me for doing that and said, you know, many people wouldn't do that. I said, well, you know, he said, nobody saw you. I said, yeah, but I saw me. So, and he just thanked me, and we resolved it that way. I got in touch with my insurance company, and they took care of it for him.
But you couldn't imagine that the gentleman you interacted with would be suspected of being involved in this?
Not at all.
Pastor, thank you.
Now, that brother right there, that interview sound pretty legit. I'm assuming you won't see many of reruns of his interview in the future. I can just I just have a funny feeling you ain't gonna see that particular interview that much anymore. But you might see this next one a few. This person might actually end up on TV. This one sounds really, because Tariq Nasheed went live Wednesday night and happened to mention some MK Ultra type testing or staging seems to go on in one of these areas to where this cat was at in this township. Was it Moon Township out there in Pennsylvania? And man, I just can't help but something that I just can't quite put my finger on about this guy. Y'all let me know what you think.
Security cameras and this store, and I was working inside the store, see the security cameras, like checking in the cameras, and I see the guy, he walking in the sidewalk like this. The guy, he killed the 7 people in Brooklyn. Like, I was 2 days I don't sleep, and I see that when I see the 7 people die, I cannot breathe. Like, I cannot sleep too. Like, I don't like the life. Like, I want to try to work, I cannot, because this guy, he put me in trouble. Like, when he see the 7 people killed, maybe these 7 people have kids, maybe have family, maybe something like that. Like, and I see him, he have bag in his bag, and he was walking the sidewalk, and he put the bag in the street like this, and I see the people, guys, please, the people was walking behind him. I told him, guys, keep far from him, please, this guy is gonna do something. Like, this, people think I am crazy, like, nobody tries to believe me. Like, I told him, guys, trust me, this is the guy. And I see the police walking from over there. I told the police, this is the guy. He did the problem in Brooklyn. This guy, catch him, guys, catch him. And he catch him. Thank God we catch him. Thank you very much. I cannot hear you. Of course, I see him here in the street. I told him, yo, this is the guy, he killed the people. This guy, he killed the people in Brooklyn. And I want to make sure, because I don't want to put anybody in trouble. I see him, yo, this is the guy. Like, I can't believe that in my eyes, bro. Like, we need to tell the police. And we told the police, and the police reached him, and the police just told me, thank you, and he left.
CH464 said, dude, calm down. Please leave our energy for the females. What who cares said he's overacting. Cut up his green card. 12-7 said too many Modelos. Oh man. Oh, I see him. That's him right there. Oh, he's killing people. He did the bad thing. Oh, Lord. Am I seeing Hollywood in New York or what? Oh, that's him right there. It's just, man, this almost, I almost hate to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway, and somebody might get upset about what I'm finna say, because y'all might like this individual, and I understand. But to me, this reminds me, or makes me think of Plan B to Grandmaster Jay. If I was looking at Plan B, and I'm surprised nobody has even brought up that connection. If there is one, I don't know if there is one or not. I can't say. But just funny, the bald head and the shades, boy. and kind of got the same. I don't know. I mean, speculation. In the meantime, now that a crime bill is on the way, got black faces all over the face of anger and aggression right now, don't we? Now we're doing it for terrorism too. Man, look at how we're going into a new election year. Boy, black people are just terrible. Boy, I tell you, these black men are just awful.
COVID videos too. I want to thank you for your service to your city and your bravery on that morning when bullets were flying, 33 to be exact. You stayed calm, stayed focused, and you saved lives. Calm, focused, and you saved lives. Thanks to you, no passenger was left behind, no lives were lost.
Ahead of your right. Thank you.
I hope y'all see what I see. I hope y'all see what I see. This Eric Adams dude, they bringing him in. He's like, he's gonna be trust me, you're gonna see a lot of him and Joe Biden, man. You're gonna see a lot of him and Joe Biden rocking tough. And it's so just like how, and so basically, you said, but no one dies, Samuel Logan. Exactly. Anybody see Die Hard 2? Anybody in chat seen Die Hard 2? You know the difference between the red bands and the blue bands? What was it, red and yellow? They had the red and yellow blue bands and some of the sort. They had different colored bands on their clips. I'm just saying. Gas canister. Ooh, big distraction. Pow, 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 pow. Oh, I'm hit. Oh, I'm hit. Oh, look at the blood. Okay. Because I've been on movie sets before, so I mean, I just know how Hollywood works. So I'm just saying, some of the tricks that they could use, again, neither here nor there, I wouldn't be able to say. But, they say certain things come out and, they put things out there before they happen. Who's to say? Just kind of odd, because who was actually the heavy in that movie? John Amos. Big black man. Bald-headed, by the way. Ooh, boy. Boy, those coincidences. Jeez, man. I'm just looking and observing and looking. It's all I can do, right? And I'm reporting just what I'm observing. That's all, Nobody's dead. 12 said extra special effect. Oh, man, guys, you see the blood? I mean, just knowing how blood packs work and stuff, hey, man, things happen. Now, with that being said, here's this other, you said you can't stand that Adams punk ass. Man, I've been warning folks from jump about this dude. And then when he brought Keishant Sewell in there, I played her interview while she came in before. When he first announced her, she did an interview, and I played that here on this broadcast. And you could just get the vibe of the agenda coming down the pike then. I was like, oh, family, you better be on alert out there in New York, because they gonna start, it's the pink coat and pink jacket mafia is finna be turned up on 1,000 with this dude. Like, they gonna find every reason to bring back stop and frisk. They just gonna call it something else. And then you got a black man and a black woman on the face of it. So if you're hating on it, then you don't like black women. Pay attention. Check this out.
People talking about this. The first full bus of migrants from Texas arrived in Washington this morning.
So this is all a part of Governor Greg Abbott's plan to counter the Biden administration's approach to illegal immigration. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson is in Washington tonight and spoke to some of those passengers.
The first busload of migrants arrived in Washington, D.C. Dozens of illegal immigrants, including 19 males, 4 females, and 2 children from Del Rio, Texas. They got off the bus just blocks from the U.S. Capitol.
I want an opportunity to get ahead. I want a job, an opportunity to move forward.
The transport is part of the plan Texas Governor Greg Abbott announced last week in response to the Biden administration's plan to drop Title 42, something both Democrats and Republicans worry will cause an additional surge in migration.
Texas is providing charter buses to send these illegal immigrants who have been dropped off by the Biden administration to Washington, D.C.
Texas provided the free ride to migrants released from federal custody, something the White House called a stunt.
I'm not aware of what authority the governor would be doing that under. I think it's pretty clear this is a publicity stunt.
But others say it's not a gimmick.
It is about the only way that we can sort of grab the attention of the nation and of the federal government and say, meet your responsibilities to control the border.
For these migrants, it's nearly the end of a 4-month journey, walking from Venezuela all the way to the U.S. border. Now they're hoping to leave Washington and head to Miami for the chance at a better life.
Human rights matter here. You get treated like a person.
Everyone who got off the bus has already been processed. They no longer have an obligation to report to ICE, but can opt to do so if they want an asylum hearing. In Washington, Lucas Tomlinson.
Somebody done told him way wrong. But I played that in the midst of all of this just to make sure y'all understand. This is Joe Biden's situation. So, you know, when you got, like I did Wednesday, I wanted to hear from the people who had those family members that you are on the cusp, you know, and just need a little slight push to understand. Hey, Tiny Zion said, who lied to him? Yeah, they treat you over here like a human. What are you talking about? Not us. No, we still trying to get ours. The reason why y'all coming over here talking like that is because you come over here and identify as white and pad their numbers. Now you piss these folks off and they'll send you back where you came from before your head could spin. You understand what I mean? But yeah, please. So let's get into the Congolese brother. Because this whole situation is a trip. I've seen the video of this execution. You know, because that's what this is. This cat, okay, he might have had some bad plates on his car. And I thought a lot of police were starting to, or at least here, which they're trying to find ways to get back into traffic stops. So right now they're using the guise of guns and crime to get back into unnecessary traffic stops like they were doing. So what they're looking to do is, right now they're in the process of finding the best way to reword racial profiling so it doesn't look like that. And then they'll send all the demo shields out there to say, oh, that ain't what it is. And then your pastors will say the same shit. And then they'll all get out here and be like, oh, this isn't what it is. Yeah, it is. So here's the order of the day. We talking reparations. We're not talking about black maternal health. We're talking reparations because black maternal health can be summed up with reparations because now you're making sure that these individuals are kept healthy anyway. So let's not put the cart before the horse. Reparations. That's the engine of success for foundational black Americans. TS, what is it, Giselle? I think you could keep pushing that line if you want. I know you won't get any traction over here. And I would advise anybody that you see her coming off up in your spaces, you already know what it is. If that individual will not engage y'all on an intentional conversation versus bringing in this, well, I just want to speak and because people don't like me bullshit. I hear people do that whack line all the time. Get to your agenda spiel, please. I mean, because that's all it is. Anytime somebody's, well, you ain't gonna like it, because people, right, just be feeling some kind of way when they be seeing people like me. Shut up. Like you the first gay person walking the planet. Shut up. Man, please. How many damn conventions I done went to and many other industry situations you could, man, shut up. Man, how about shut up. The one thing that you are privy to is how certain things work. So you may even be able to fool with one of them people that's behind the scenes, but because they are and ain't coming out what they think, you're a little secret. So yeah, I guess people like you would be kind of feeling some kind of way because you do know what that other world is like. Because when they tipping and dipping, when the rest of society don't know what they doing it with you. But see, the only difference is with you, this ain't no dude from the hood. So outing this person could come with very serious consequences. Hey man, you talking about a cat from around that's been around this industry. Don't ever play with me like that. Yeah, I'll read that silly shit for what it is very quick. You know like y'all gotta know what y'all see, man. Because these people be, you know when a person is talking off a script, ask them a question and they have to go back to the script because they can't deviate from, well, man, this is what I was taught how to control a conversation. You can't control a conversation in a truth space because you're untruthful. So if you're going to come as a liar up and try to debate the truth with a lie, it's 2022, man. That's a no-win situation. Either give them folks their money back or, just take your lumps every time you show up because everybody know what you're about already. And we understand you got to earn your money. Got it. Oh, Lord, Nikki, what you say? Said got Debbie, damn, that's a gang of pictures of dingalings and oh, you got them pussies over there on Twitter. Oh, walking around claiming people don't like us. See? And here's another thing. You setting it out there. You moving all in that sex worker industry like that too. That's a whole nother thing. That's okay. How many strippers are in these spaces talking about, hey, let me twerk it. They ain't doing all of that, talking about what they doing like that. So the fact that that's even more obvious of what you're doing when you're doing that. Because the women ain't doing that. I mean, shoot, IG is full of thirst trapping. So, I mean, when somebody want to, and trust me, these sisters is getting way more DMs than you are. So, if somebody wanted to do that, they could. Take notes from the natural born women on what women actually do. Somebody might feel a little some kind of way about that. But here's the point of being a man. I don't give a damn. You ain't my wife, so that is not my responsibility. Unfortunate. But understand this. I got your back, and I'll fight for you if you fight for me. I do not absolutely in one iota have to like you. But the code is the leader. Not my like for you. Not my acceptance of what you want to do. No. The code is the leader. And because I rock with the code, you're covered. Stop looking gift horses in the mouth. It's the best thing I could Best advice I could give you. Or somebody gonna say, you're going to have to pop them nails off, put these murder ones on, and these boots, pick this rifle up, and we going to work. Now, you can call yourself whatever the hell you want to call yourself, but guess what? You finna pick that rifle up and start shooting at something just like everything else. So when it's time to work like that, that's what it's time to do. Go live what you want to go live. That's cool. But you ain't finna thin the numbers over here like, oh, I'm just finna go. No, you finna get your ass over here and fight too, man. Whatever you do over there is cool, but you're going to have to fight. And that's the problem. Let's just keep it a buck. That's why y'all be finding comfort in certain areas. Because you do not want to have to step up to the plate to fight for it. Well, stay out of our way, because we the ones who will. Man, don't take nothing you ain't willing to protect. Put it to you like that. Now, with that being said, let's look at this Congolese situation, because we got a whole situation here that, although this person is non-FBA, this situation is something we have to look at and pay attention to, because this cat was straight executed.
On Monday, 26-year-old Patrick Leoya was shot and killed by a Grand Rapids police officer. Grand Rapids police say it happened during a traffic stop on Griggs and Nelson. However, the family of Patrick disputes that, saying it was more than just a traffic stop. Today, the community gathered to remember his life and demand police to release video of the incident. 13 on your side's Justin Bachman was there in the community this afternoon. So, Justin, what did you see?
Good evening, Elena. Over and over, you could hear a chant that this is what community looks like. A peaceful march honored the life taken too soon, the family still in shock, and the community desperate for answers. Hundreds walked in solidarity behind the family of Patrick Leoya. The message was clear. The family wants Grand Rapids police to release the body and dashcam video of his killing, and they want justice.
Show the video! Show the video! We want the world to know! We want the world to know! Show the video! Show the video! We want the world to know! We want the world to know!
Patrick's family claims the video shows a Grand Rapids police officer shooting the 26-year-old in the back of the head while he was laying on the ground. 13 on your side has not seen the video in question and cannot verify that claim.
I have a son, and the only thing I could see, it was my son. Name down. It should not happen. Say his name. Say his name.
I didn't believe that this could ever happen to me in this country.
Patrick's father, translated through an interpreter, says his family left the Democratic Republic of the Congo to find a better life, one free from violence.
And I'm asking myself, why did I come here?
If this police, the one did this, he can be punished, and the other will learn from this one. If not, we'll be crying every day.
As his uncle said, his death should not go in vain. It should be unity for all humanity that understands that this is an atrocity and that we need justice.
No police were seen along the mile-long march route. The afternoon was capped off with a vigil honoring Patrick's memory, with words from his family, songs in Swahili, and more cries for justice.
We don't want to revenge. We don't want any parent to feel what we are feeling right now. But we want justice to be done.
Grand Rapids Police Chief Eric Winstrom has stated the video will be released before Friday at noon. Patrick's family is hopeful it'll be released earlier in the week.
And it was. And it shows that, you know, this man was ran down, shot in the back of the head, and some more shit. So here, I'm going to just play these other few stories because
in the streets of downtown Grand Rapids, many are wondering, how does our community heal and what can be done to prevent another tragedy like this one?
13 on your side's Joshua Benson joins us live from downtown. Josh, you spoke with Kent County Commissioner Robert Womack about this. What did he have to say?
Jay Meredith, he said simply he wants to see two things: justice and accountability. He said that is the only way this city of Grand Rapids will heal from this devastating tragedy. Since the deadly police shooting videos were released on Wednesday, many people took to the streets, allowing their voices to be heard. On Thursday, at an emotional press conference, we saw and heard from Loyola's parents as they cried, talking about their firstborn son. Now many are wondering, where do we go from here in Grand Rapids and how do this community heals? Womack says it starts with charges being filed against the officer who shot and killed Patrick.
The next thing is to wait for Kent County prosecutor to see if he brings charges, and if not, we will continue on to the Attorney General, to the federal level, and to the Department of Justice. We will not let this go.
Additionally, Womack says he wants to hear from Chief Eric Winstrom. He wants him to call out the officer that shot and killed Patrick and make it clear his actions were unacceptable. Now, it is worth mentioning Michigan State Police is still conducting their investigation, and there's no timetable when that investigation will be complete. We're live in Grand Rapids this morning. Joshua Vincent, 13 on your side.
Wow. And meantime, at the police station, this is going on. Looks like charges are coming. Can't help but just notice that, you know, that they're barricading the police station down there in Grand Rapids. How about that? Yeah, I'm just going to barricade that and keep people from over here because some more protests might be heading this way. I don't know, because the Congolese, are you expecting the Congolese to get out in the street? Shit, they've already quit. So, no. You expecting us to get out there? Is that what it is? Maybe you expect the Black Lives Matter? Oh, I don't think they'll be on the block anytime soon. And let's see, people who felt some kind of way and was going to take charge, and man, boy, look how fast people fall silent. Because you got what you wanted in Joe Biden. So fighting for your own is, I mean, because Daddy Biden's going to clearly do something for us, right? Yeah, so many people have told themselves this. And they over there preparing. They are over there preparing. Yeah. So y'all want to come on down here to the police station? We got something for that ass this time around. But I really don't think it's going to be like that, to be quite honest. I don't see it. These people have completely went back to sleep. They cool. They cool with it. I mean, matter of fact, they so cool with it. You got Negroes who are like, it was Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter yesterday. Yeah, we got Joe Biden in there. Ooh, what that PPP gonna do?
This home is belonging to Amber Colbert, but it's the same home connected to a business that received a high-profile coronavirus relief loan. According to Memphis police, Colbert worked for the police department as a clerk when she forged a pay stub to get a loan earlier this year. MPD says she's been relieved of duty pending the outcome of the internal and criminal investigation. But that's not the only loan Colbert has gotten recently. Federal records from the Small Business Administration show a business in Amber Colbert's name also benefited from the Paycheck Protection Program. It shows she got two $17,000 PPP loans for her children's clothing store that she never had to pay back. Her loans are also linked to this home on Keel Avenue in Uptown. We went there today, but no one answered the door, and we found this sign posted saying the property is vacant. The Department of Justice has cracked down on people nationwide who they say tried to get PPP loans illegally. Just this week, an Oklahoma woman pleaded guilty to trying to get more than $40 million in fraudulent loans. We contacted the Small Business Administration and the Department of Justice to find out if they're investigating Colbert's PPP loan in light of her more recent arrest. Stacey Jacobson, WREG, News Channel 3.
She was coming up. Wow, what y'all think about that, family? Ooh, Lord. Oh, man. See, like, and that's what I'm saying, man. People went right back to their old hustle. It's like, we'll just do this, you know. So George Floyd, okay, they got that. Now we got Joe Biden. Joe Biden understand what black people need. You remember hearing people say that. Joe Biden know what black folks need. He gonna take care of us. Well, you saw how those homeowners in Detroit were taken care of by being foreclosed on and kicked out of their homes while being overtaxed by their own government, priced out illegally. Where the hell is Joe Biden on that? And just even more so, just to show you how broken this system is, this next story is proof that we have no business ever putting any attention outside of who we already have within our borders, especially foundational black Americans.
I went to this place called the Baltimore Rescue Mission, 4 Central Avenue. But since I had started working, they have a period where you have to be in at 7:45, and not, you can't get in. So Mr. DeBreezy wrote me a letter, and he said, this letter should get you in. And I said, wow, why not think of that? And he said, they will let you in. So when I went to the place to go get in, and it was cold outside. I mean, it was really freezing. They told me that they have a cutoff time at 7:45. And so I had to stay the night outside.
And I mean, so I heard you're going to be working up to five days a week, you know, roughly, or something like that. Or the plan is to give you more hours, but that means working late as well. So are you planning to sleep more outside, or are you just looking for alternatives, or?
Well, the weather's warming up, and by me being incarcerated so much, I really enjoy being outdoors, but not when it's cold. When it's nice and warm, like 60 degrees or, you know, above, I mean, or maybe I might not be saying it right. Where I feel comfortable, like I'm inside of a home, I can pretty much bear being out in the streets.
Wow. See, we have enough of a dilemma to be addressed here. You know what I mean? And it's not being addressed here. like the brother Marcel said, you have to repair Black America. You cannot keep ignoring the damage caused by everything done to foundational Black Americans here. And everyone else. You know? Now, for those who do not understand the basic, simple principle, the code is the leader. So, please, if you see somebody out here that is saying, FBA is this, FBA is that, just know that that is a person who is now coming with an agenda. When you see people falsely relating any kind of nefarious activity to these groups, and us over here, New Black Media, the B1, the Foundational Black American Spaces, when you have people out here trying to throw like the Frank James in there on us, like he's some kind of connection. No, he's not. He is not at all. Just know that's all game. They know it is, and they are full of crap. But you got to understand, it's an old game that they have played on us, family. So we always have to be mindful of that. And also, yeah, before I go, I got to get back to this nut. Matter of fact, that video should be in here. Let me get in here. So, while I'm getting this other video, wait a minute, let me open this. Where are you at? Okay. So let me open this. Check this nut out. That damn music is killing me. But y'all see what's happening. Oh man. And I'll be wrapping up on her little pieces because I want to go into this woman here. Okay, where are we at? Okay. Because this woman is like real super conservative, but you see, you're going to witness real, very racist, but in a eugenicist kind of way. And I played a little clip of her before, but today I will be going further in depth. So bear with me real quick. I need to get this video here. Come on now. So, while I'm getting this, please, family, hit the like and share button. Hit the like and share. Oh man, when your system wants to always do the absolute most. All right. Oh no. There we go. Let's have a little conversation. There we go. Should have already downloaded. Just bear with me real quick. I am downloading these two. Okay. Because these people have a nerve, and this woman has the nerve to talk about black folks as if, white folks have had such high achievements, and we, as us just lowly Negroes, have had so few. Why is that only one of them? There should be more. Let's see, where is it at? Okay, so here is one. Both of them should be there. Okay. Let me get this in here. Boy, I'll tell you, I don't know why this is moving slow. We had one of them power surges in my neighborhood earlier today. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. Because the weather's been tripping here like crazy. But check this out. Check this out, family.
Your country, which you're implying,
is
equal or better than our country. And you're telling us how awful we are. Well, what's the explanation for that?
China's an ethno-state, by the way, which no one ever says. It's about the Han Chinese, and if you're not, that's the problem with the Uyghurs. That's their religion. They're not Han Chinese. Whatever. I'm not even judging. I'm just saying people from there have no right to judge the United States.
But they very much feel that they do. And so take, the Brahmin women who come from India, and they climb the ladder, they get the best education, we give them every opportunity, and they turn around and lead the charge on we're racist, we're an awful country, we need reform, our medical system needs reform. Well, here's the problem. They're taught that they are better than everybody else because they are Brahmin elites, and yet on some level their country is a shithole, excuse my language. Okay, it's not providing them with the opportunities that they feel that they deserve, and which in many cases they do deserve. They come here and they see that we have this wonderful developed scientific and medical establishment, which they haven't managed to create. They realize that, we've outgunned and outclassed them in practically every way. And what do they feel? Well, they're a very proud people. They're a shame culture. And they feel anger, they feel envy, they feel shame. I think the role of envy and shame in the way that the third world regards the first world is underestimated.
I think you're exactly right.
It's never talked about.
No, and you've been really penalized for talking about it.
And it creates ingratitude of the most monstrous kind. I feel like asking some of these people, like, why did you leave your country? Why are you here?
Have you asked that?
Well, it would be considered not just a microaggression, Tucker. It would be considered a macroaggression. You don't ask people that sort of thing.
Why?
Well, I mean,
if you're,
I would.
If you're born
I
here,
would,
you have
but
absolutely.
Well. So let's break that down. Because what she's saying is how basically, white folks have made so many strides and everybody's just so jealous of what they have done. Well, the Bible say, envy not thy oppressor, so there is that part. We definitely are not envying you there. That's one thing that is for certain. Oh, Lord. The nerve of these people. But these are the type of people who teach your children. Right? And, you're hearing the drum beat louder and louder and louder to take your children out of these schools. And there's reason being. Because you may have even a black man as a teacher. But not all skin folks are kin folk.
Good job here, because he wanted to pin down to Vash, what is your definition of reparations?
Specifically on reparations, what do you view reparations as, more importantly?
So this is a big divide. Some people think like cash payments. I'm not a big fan of that. It doesn't fix the problem, for one. It's if you can put money into that community, but there's been research done on how long a dollar stays in a black neighborhood as opposed to a white neighborhood. And if a black neighborhood, all of the businesses are owned by corporate boards that are all majority white, eventually the money filters out and you get a very temporary boost in living situation, not much long-term structural change. I'm a big fan of structural reparations, not based on race, but rather based on targeting neighborhoods that need it the most. Some of these neighborhoods are like white. I passed through some of them on my way out from Ronald Reagan Airport. I can tell which parts of this country. You can see it in the bones of the neighborhood.
Yes, you heard that correctly. He's defining reparations not even based on race. He included white people in reparations.
Rather based on targeting neighborhoods that need it the most. Some of these neighborhoods are like white, some of these neighborhoods are like white, some of these neighborhoods are like white,
Vash, Charlie Kirk was asking about reparations in regards to slavery.
And understand, we are getting that argument attacked on all fronts. On all fronts. Another younger individual, another young man who's got these views that we should not as a group get what we're due. Go figure. Now, they've given us Katanji, and they are sending out everybody to make sure we are looking at nothing burgers as some kind of physical, tangible thing. And it ain't. And we don't look at it like that. But, nonetheless, they try.
It creates intelligence and integrity on all sides of town. On both sides of the railroad track, that God raises up brilliance and excellence among the despised, the marginalized, and the rejected, and they're so given over to the God of white supremacy that even when God shows up with brilliance and intelligence right in front of them, they can't see it. Come here, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. They can't see it even when it's sitting right in front of them, because they're bowing down to an idolatry that says some skin is better than other skin. Choose ye this day whom you will serve. There is.
Brother, she chose to whom she will serve the day she got married. You know who her in-laws are? White supremacists. Well, suspected white supremacists. And in her view, if you have watched this broadcast before, you have watched me play what she said about how just, my unlikely meeting of my husband, he's 5 and 6 generations of Harvard law, and I'm just a lowly Negro, and if you look at my background, just a few grandparents away, they were slaves, didn't know how to read, and just lowly Negroes. I'm so happy and so fortunate to have this great white man of this great stock. And he'll put me in position to where I can be on the Supreme Court because of who I chose to marry. Not based off of what I chose to represent. And see, here's how they've tried to keep presenting this lie. Is that when we don't go with a hand-picked puppet of a old white man, they start telling us that we must not like it because she's black. Ketanji Brown Jackson did not put herself there, nor is she qualified enough to be there. There are many other qualified judges across the country with more tenure, with more fair and balanced records than Ketanji Brown Jackson could ever have in 10 years. 10 years. That's not a long time to say, here, be 50 and go be on the Supreme Court. You basically gave her 50 years. Nah, I don't think so, dude.
There's but one God. Did y'all see my co-workers? Acting the fool? Cutting her off? Disrespecting her? She showed amazing grace.
We have to be mindful of the snakes that we have got in our midst. And I hate to say it, family, but I'm going to have to start showing you some of these groups. I'm going to have to start showing some of these groups, family. And we have to understand, a lot of these people are in our own households. They are in our own family, and they hold traditions that are not conducive to the benefit of our future. There are things we have to learn to let go and let die. We are at a critical time and place, family, and I hope you are witnessing what it is. And what you're seeing on your screen, this is not the time we are in. And these people, Z and AJ, absolutely understand all of this confusion. These are your aunties and And they done gave themselves all the way up to this situation, and they all and they happy and doing their little ritualistic business here. And you know, because of their pledges and oaths that they have made, you know, here we are celebrating. Probably something that they probably shouldn't. But nonetheless, these are going to be your children's educators. See, they have a whole system in place to make sure that they can try to shift the narrative. So when you see these people coming down in these, you said, are they celebrating bread? No. This is just one of their events that they do. You know. Good old black secret society stuff. You know. So I hope y'all understand. Like, oh look, that's a lot of people in that room. Look at all those people who are intermingled in all of these different families and communities out here. Churches and everything. All intermingled in certain situations. All strategically placed. So understand, when you start hearing conversation that is not conducive to the code. Because what you're looking at right here is all the average women that you're going to know in your daily life. But they all actually subscribe to this first before black. Black agenda is the last thing on the list. And a lot of these people have convinced themselves that they're doing better by black people being part of this. So y'all just got to understand. Oh, yes. CH464. Totally understand, man. Drive safe, brother. And so what you're seeing, man, is one of those little boule bashes. The grandma boule bash. Oh. And see, Mike, you have daughters of the Confederacy who literally actually had power. And then you have these people within our society that they put as gatekeepers to protect white interests. Let's see what this is. Oh, okay. Wrong video, okay. Still looking for this other video. But yeah, man, those people, well, you already know what their allegiance is, and that is what will be rolling your way this go around, because they're going to have to pull out all the stops. So you're going to hear a lot of old folks talking about how, man, you guys are trying to suppress the vote. This reminds me of when they sick dogs on us. No, it doesn't. Stop it. They used to sick dogs on people. Yeah. Yes, this we know. We know. Z-J said, I had a best friend of 30 years, 30-something years. Found out later her family was heavy into it. Don't you know? Don't you know? So understand with that, I'm going to play this last little piece here. And it gives a little breakdown on what we know as the Congressional Black Caucus and how some of these things kind of come together. So let's just check this out.
If you are born non-white in this country, you are born to a life of sacrifice. Are you prepared to fight for non-whites in position of power and decision-making on this campus?
The Black Caucus was the first group in the UC system to form and challenge administration to respond to certain kinds of demands.
The Black Caucus was a very important vehicle on this campus because of the prejudices and the racism that prevailed during that period of time.
I don't think there was one person that would come to those caucus meetings that did not have a story to tell about racism and how they were being unfairly treated.
UCSF was known as the plantation on the hill because of the way it treated its employees, primarily those in the custodial service.
It takes an organization to move an organization. So why don't we organize? And that's pretty much the birth of the Black Caucus.
The very first Black Caucus meeting we had was, we had a big meeting in Cole Hall.
And it's amazing how many people showed up. People in clerical positions showed up, people in janitor's positions.
And the first order of business was to issue this letter of demands. Some of the demands had to include increasing the staffing, but really our primary demand was to increase the number of students in the medical school.
We had to get people of color into the system and then retain them.
The idea was to create an environment that allowed blacks to excel.
And our work was cut out for us, and we took care of business. Our membership would tell us where the problems were. Investigation committee would go out and check that out.
Basically, we were there to monitor any discriminatory practices on the campus. And so we set goals for each department and for each school, and we included what we would be doing to ensure that these goals were met. The Black Bulletin reported what we were doing and what we needed to do.
It was a vehicle to stay in touch with one another. People needed to know what was going on.
And of course, we didn't have the technology we have today. We had mimeograph machines that left you covered with black ink, but we managed to get it out.
We sort of thought of ourselves as a full-service organization. We threatened to strike because a demand that we had asked for wasn't granted.
All 6 elevators in Moffett should come down to the basement because of the large numbers of people who work in the basement.
And they didn't believe we would strike, and we did.
We just walked off our jobs and just came out and refused to go back to work until they did something about it. We marched around this campus to make sure that San Francisco and California knew, and the world knew, that we were not satisfied with things going on.
If it wasn't for them, the janitors and the maids, we wouldn't have been able to pull it off because they were willing to put their jobs on the line.
And the people were willing to do that. I mean, these are not employees who are making significant salaries, but when they struck, that was really critical because administrators were pushing patients around because there were no patient escorts to move the patients from wherever. So it was a significant event. We were pretty persuasive. We were not something that they could shut the door and forget about.
There were more protections afforded to janitors, and there was more dignity that they were able to secure.
It changed the culture of the campus.
It's almost in the bricks and mortar now. The battle scars are all on the walls.
And as a result, this campus became the model for other universities.
It is now renowned throughout the system as the leading campus in medical research, in student recruitment.
This is UCSF, and these are the values in which we're operating.
We have shown this world today that it can be done, that we can follow in the footsteps of Dr. Martin Luther King.
So y'all understand right there, their little farm that they have. You see how they set that up? And there's always going to be somebody like that they try to bring in close to a movement. So anytime you have something like this, that is a grassroots situation, then they definitely got to try to get something like an infiltrator off up in the mix. And so we always have to be mindful of that, family. And when they start coming in, promoting other agendas, then that's how you'll know this person is about something else versus the business of justice for foundational Black Americans. That person is coming here to disrupt things under the guise of literally coming to help. But they're not really about help. They're about harming the cause. Because, you know, a lot of them still believe that we have friends. And they believe they have friends until they take their ass out there, go to the hunting trip or fishing trip or something, and then, you know, something go wrong. Something go wrong then, and you come up dead, and nobody know nothing. No charges. No harm, no foul. No harm, no foul. No, but you know, you gone, and your family burying you now, and well, you know, those white folks seem like pretty nice people. So, you know, man, you know, you the only Black person out there with them. Man, you know, things happen, man. Let me see if I got this in here so we can. You want to take a little quick trip down memory lane before we get on up out of here. Because I want y'all to always remember, this man always is promising you something and never delivers. So I need this man to deliver on something. Oh, you know what? Let me show you this too. Because do you know the old Negro squad? They had them a little function, which I played a video the other day from Michael Eric Dyson being there when the brothers, when the B1 brothers ran up on him at that NAM conference and asked them about reparations. Now it's funny, you start getting them off the cuff, they start talking real truthful about reparations. Outside of that though, get them on TV, cat got their tongue. And, you know, always remember why.
Got to watch these old niggas.
This is an example of why we cannot stop fighting for federal law, because this is a second, but to all of us. And we pledge out of National Action Network and our national convention, and we're going to the Justice Department to
Now, I just wanted to play this and just show you what's going on up here. You got Ben Crump up there. You got Al Sharpton. And this Al Sharpton, National Action Network, National Non-Action. So they're all up there to make sure that, you know, they put on a good face for nothing. Now, as all of these people come up here, they always have the smoke for Black folks when we're saying we're going to hold our vote, right? Well, let's take a look. And they're up here now. One of the things that they're talking about kind of loosely is, well, you know, he said he would do things. Yeah, but what are you demanding of that man? Now they're over here, oh man, we having Black Maternal Health Week and month. Get out of here. Remember this, family.
John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. I've been having these quiet conversations with the members of Congress for the last 2 months. I'm tired of being quiet. Not a single Republican has displayed the courage to stand up to a defeated president to protect America's right to vote. Not one. Not one. We have 50-50 in the United States Senate. That means we have 51 presidents. You all think I'm kidding. I've been pretty good at working with senators my career, but man, when you got 51 presidents, it gets harder. Any one can change the outcome. Sadly, the United States Senate, designed to be the world's greatest deliberative body, has been rendered a shell of its former self. It gives me no satisfaction in saying that as an institutionalist, as a man who was honored to serve in the Senate. But as an institutionalist, I believe that the threat to our democracy is so grave that we must find a way to pass these voting rights bills. Debate them, vote, let the majority prevail. And if that bare minimum is blocked, we have no option but to change the Senate rules, including getting rid of the filibuster for this. Today, I'm making it clear, to protect our democracy, I support changing the Senate rules, whichever way they need to be changed to prevent a minority of senators from blocking action on voting rights. When it comes to protecting majority rule in America, the majority should rule in the United States Senate. The next few days, when these bills come to a vote, will mark a turning point in this nation's history. We will choose. The issue is, will we choose democracy over autocracy, light over shadows, justice over injustice? I know where I stand. I will not yield. I will not flinch. I will defend the right to vote, our democracy against all enemies, foreign and, yes, domestic. Here's one thing every senator, every American should remember. History has never been kind to those who've sided with voter suppression over voters' rights. And it'll even be less kind for those who side with election subversion. So I ask every elected official in America, how do you want to be remembered? At consequential moments in history, they present a choice. Do you want to be on the side of Dr. King or George Wallace? Do you want to be on the side of John Lewis or Bull Connor? Do you want to be on the side of Abraham Lincoln or Jefferson Davis? This is the moment to decide, to defend our elections, to defend our democracy.
Remember I told you what democracy is a code word for. So black folks, get out there and defend white supremacy. Keep our power and superiority over you afloat. I have your back if you have mine. I will be your master and you will be my slave. Yes, yeah, Joe Biden, yeah. Damn shame, huh? All them promises, the John Lewis Voting Rights Act that they didn't get passed. So yeah, let's mention that. That didn't get done. Oh, great job, dude. I mean, are you listening to what he's talking about? You bringing up something and, you know, you act like he really had intentions on seeing it through. He never did. He never did. If y'all believe that, then y'all fell for the okie doke. Cause no, he never had any positive intention on making good on that promise. At all. Ever. You understand me? And that's one of the best. Knowing the truth about who you're dealing with, man, you can't go wrong. Where you go wrong is when you start fooling yourself. Like that ain't what I'm dealing with. I don't feel that that's what I'm dealing with. Okay. all right. And then when something actually happens, then you be like, hey, man, oh, man, I didn't see that coming. Maybe it's because it's racist. And that's a whole nother thing we start hearing. That also pisses me off. Well, you know, it kind of seems like it might be racist, or it might, like, you know what it is. So let me see what else. Some kind of something else to play out before we get out of here. Where's that at? Where we at? Oh. And again, you know, I don't know what that individual who thought that they was going, you know, do the whole shaming thing thought, but family, this is the future for all those individuals who believe in being something other than be one. And all y'all doing is praying to a lost cause.
Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us.
Telling you, y'all bet putting your chips, putting your eggs in the wrong basket. Oh man, oh man. Let's see what I got here. All right, let me go into one more thing here. Hopefully I have it in here. I thought I did, but I'm not sure. So let me see just 1 second. No. No. Oh, wait. Maybe this might be it. This might be it. So if anybody might have never heard this, check this out. This is old Bernie Sanders. So if you thought that it was just about Joe Biden, oh, it ain't.
Things, in my view, that government in a civilized society should be doing. Obviously, keeping the citizens safe from violence and physical assault is one of the most important roles that a government can play and must play. And that simply is what this crime bill is all about. It seeks to address the growing epidemic of violence in America by committing over $30 billion to fighting crime, which is the largest appropriation for crime fighting in the history of the United States. The crime bill that I voted for on Thursday, and which failed by 15 votes, is not a perfect bill. However, in my view, there is much in this bill of major importance and value to the citizens of Vermont and to the citizens of America, and I believe that it is a bill that is worth supporting. I voted for the bill on Thursday, and barring major changes in it, I intend to vote for it when it comes up this week. I'm going to vote for it again. Anytime one addresses a major issue like crime, and when one talks about an appropriation of $30 billion, which is a lot of money, it is easy to poke holes in that bill, and it is easy to tell us that the legislation is not perfect. Well, I agree.
A $30 billion anti-black crime bill by the damn man you voted in. And here was your alternative. Black Lives Matter spent the bulk of their intake of money that they took off dead black bodies and gave it to this dude and Joe Biden. I want you to thoroughly understand the message we're sending, understanding the differences between winning and losing, and when you have no friends.
This legislation is not perfect. Let's be clear about it. But at a time when the citizens of this country are crying out for the government to begin addressing the crisis of crime, there is no question in my mind that this bill, in a dozen different ways, is a major step forward in controlling and preventing crime. It is a bill that should be supported.
Black people, in controlling and nullifying anything black that they deem could get out of control. That's y'all's peoples. Maybe Big Mike or Killer Mike didn't know that. Maybe. Who knows?
Tick faster. That'll be the hour they knock the slick blaster. Dick dastardly, a Muttley with sick laughter. A gunfight and they come to cut the mix master. And living the true gods. Giving y'all nothing but the lick like two broads. Got more lyrics than the church got ooh lords. And they hold the mic at your attention like two swords. Or you the one with two blades on it. Hey you, don't touch the mic like it's AIDS on it.
Yes, indeed. Family. One thing to always remember: avoid running into a burning house. Because a lot of people don't understand that's what they're doing when they're looking to integrate themselves outside of themselves. To be intersectional means that something in or about you is leaving. Here's the problem with intersectionality: it never requires anyone else to lose anything. Only the black people are the ones asked to give up something. That's not a fair exchange now, is it? One person's sexual access does not equal to the whole group. And if you can't figure that the whole group is more important than your personal sexual access, well, then you have some things confused. With that being said, Babylon is fallen. Babylon is fallen. Let it fall and let us rise. Can you dig it? You understand me? Better let this joker go. Can't do nothing for it, man. And it ain't done nothing for you. This is the place of your oppression. It is time to let it go, family. And everything that go along with it. Let's look for something new. And the one thing that we're going to have to do is start understanding the people that aren't on that move and on that wavelength. And we're going to have to start checking that. Because at this moment, can you afford to let somebody literally work so hard against your objective of freedom? Or will you let them tear your freedom down because of what their feelings are? I would advise you not to. And I would advise you to own your liberty. Can you dig it? So with that being said, you can follow me on Instagram, beatzillapdx. You can follow me on Twitter, beatzillapdx, Facebook, beatzillapdx, and on Patreon, beatzillapdx official. And on Melanated People, Michael Beatzilla Whitmore. And of course, you can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. That's ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And of course, if you feel so inclined to put some money in the bucket, you definitely can do so by way of donation, and it's greatly appreciated at CashApp $beatzillapdx. That is CashApp $beatzillapdx. Also, we have PayPal, and that is Zilla Muzak. That is ZILLAMUZAK. And that's at PayPal. So you can definitely go hit those up. peace, power, protection, and blessings be up unto all of you. And thank you for all who give to this broadcast. I much appreciate it. Shout out to all of the Voices of New Black Media. We are celebrating New Black Media Appreciation Month, as well as shout out to my co-founders of the United Empires of Al-Kebulon. So this week the first tree was planted, and so unfortunately I was not able to be on location, but there in spirit, so things are moving. Things are definitely moving. Looks like Tariq Nasheed got a chance to chop it up with Bill Cosby, Mr. Cosby, and understanding we are bringing some elements back. And one of the elements we're bringing back is the idea of community, which of course goes back to the family. And I mean, hey, one of the reasons why they wanted to take that Cosby show off, say what you will about that man and his personal life, but what that show represented was a together black family throughout the generations of that same family. In blackness, while also dealing with other nationalities as well. So being a multicultural hub, but always being black and always maintaining the touch of history and black class, which is of course another thing they wanted to eliminate, because now we'll just start calling raunchiness classiness. Because as long as you got a raunchy woman in a Gucci outfit, it now can be called classy. Now we have to get back to being able to see past the money they gave the white brand owners. We got to look past that and look to the people who even thought to say, I'm going to be a black high fashion designer. Those are the people to whom we need to be looking for. Not the ones who are already looking for the bar that's been set by their oppressors. No, we're looking for the people who are looking to create something new. You dig it? So with that, y'all stay safe, stay vigilant, and stay alive. And stay away from messy folk. Because nobody needs them type of problems. So much better to never have to worry about foolishness like that. So when you keep it peaceful, keep it intentional. Keep it intentional. And if anybody is coming to you with a suspected agenda, let them talk. Let them talk. And then after that, if you smell a rat, ask them a question. If they can't answer you, then you know you got a rat. With that being said, family, I hope that y'all have a blessed weekend and a blessed, prosperous weekend. You did? And as we always do around here, we slang the stone of truth as Babylon burns. Shalom, y'all.
When you know who Satan is,
Yes, sir.
you don't have to kill him. No. The stone of truth.
Yes.
See, that's what you throw.
Yes, sir. Right.
Allah says, had we wished to take a pastime from before, surely we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth at falsehood till we knock out its brains. Every one of you that knows the truth, stand up and tell it from the mountaintop. Black people can't take it no more. So wherever you are on the job, in the factory, I don't care where you are. If you know the truth, stand up on the truth and tell Satan Who the hell are you to try and pick my friends? Farrakhan is God's man, and you are from the enemy of God. So to hell with you. Stand up on it like a man.